I'm your dungeon master, I'm your guide, I'm your travel companion on this fun little journey.
I mean, I'm not the best at being subtle about it.
Trying is all we can do. I do not do stealth. I do not do it.
Kind of specialize in not being found.
Thank you for joining us on this adventure. We are about to get started. Very excited to get rocking and rolling. So, welcome. We are today going to be sharing what this show is, what this show is about, who we are, what we're doing, what kind of cheese we like. Probably not. Although the answer is smoked Gouda. Yes, exactly. So obviously that's the answer. Welcome to the show. We are a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition actual play live stream coming to you live Monday nights starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 5 to 7 is the goal.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Goals are good to have in life, I think. But yeah, so we are starting with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I can never say that phrase accurately. And you know, you would think I would be able to talk more, but
It's fine. You're just the dungeon master.
I'm just the dungeon master.
You don't
No
need to
big
talk.
deal.
We got it.
It's fine. I will say, so we're doing D&D. However, lots of modifications made. So the general idea of 5th edition, but we are setting this in space. We are using some homebrews. Specifically, the homebrew being referenced the most is All the Lights in the Sky Are Stars, presented by Haven. If we use other homebrew elements, we will be sure to make sure that they are credited during the show at some point on our social media. Because everybody who makes these deserves to be credited for them. And some of these are just rad as all get out. So I'm very excited to be using them. Rad. Like, I'm very excited to see what we can do in space with D&D. The general rule of thumb is typical D&D races are going to be just reskinned as aliens. We're not restatting. We're not re-homebrewing. It's an elf, but now it's blue with gills, you know, right? Like, that's the idea here.
Sea elves exist.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be creative, okay? Without
Space sea.
space sea elves, okay? They're like jellyfish, all right? So they got like tentacles.
I would play a sentient
A
jellyfish.
sentient jellyfish elf tentacle. Nope. We're gonna stop right there. So this game we're playing, we have spent the last,
Few months.
month and a half.
Feels like forever.
Feels like
a
forever.
year
Yeah,
plus.
feels
Yeah. Well, we spent the last year putting this together, but specifically the world building we've been doing for a while. So I am not particularly sure what order videos will be released in, but we have recorded 2 different world building sessions split into several games for this campaign that we are in. So the first game we played was Microscope by Ben Robbins. So we spent the time building out the timeline and what this world looks like and some of the do's and don'ts of this universe. And then we played A Quiet Year by Avery Adler about a specific event happening on a single planet and the aftermath of some of the events we came up with in Microscope. And then from there, our campaign will be deciding later, roughly between 1 and 5 years after the events of A Quiet Year that we played. So everybody here at the table has had a part in building the world. They have made creatures, they have made events. They are the ones that know the most about this world. So everything has been kind of started from scratch from us, built together. So that's very exciting. And also written by myself and Colorado Brown. So Colorado is going to be the primary writer on this show. I'm very excited to have him on board. He is not in this vicinity in any way. So I can talk great things about him all I want because he can't stop me.
He'll tell you later.
He will tell me later for sure. But I'm very excited to have him on board. He's been instrumental in making this entire thing possible. So he is an actor, game designer, and he's helping to flesh out the lore, story threads, characters here at the show. So very excited to have Colorado Brown on board. Make the assumption that anything happening is 90% Colorado, 10% me.
Don't downplay yourself.
We've definitely had some input, but I think the thing that I'm most excited about is how collaborative it is. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that's just the two of us back and forth, coming up with a lot of the world building, a lot of the decision making, playing off of what everybody else came up with. So it's very exciting to me.
Trying to make sense of the insanity that spewed out of it.
Yeah, I will say, you say this, right? You were like, oh, wow, crazy. We just made all of this. He got very excited about space werewolves, so yeah,
They exist.
Was a good idea. It's not. I think we're all a little bit insane here, and I think that's part of the fun. So I want to explain a little bit more about the world that we are playing in. So we've come up with a lot of things, a lot of history, which hopefully should be accessible at some point via our website or via social media, as far as like all of the deep dive into the lore. But we are playing in a world. This is going to get really confusing really quickly. So world is the general umbrella term for what this campaign setting is, because we are playing in space. So there are worlds, there are galaxies, there are like
universe.
Lots of universe.
We're in this universe.
We're in the universe. Yes, we're in the universe.
Health Hits Experience Cinematic Universe.
We don't need that.
Coming to theaters
No.
at some point, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
In the future, or a future at least.
And in a future,
There you
future timeline of some point, yes, this comes to theaters. So I want to read a little bit about our little summary here that was written up for the show. That just like picture the book opening up, right? Welcome to the Zalarian Empire, a galaxy ruled by strictly regulated magic with burgeoning technologies on the rise. The Zalarians, a collection of people from dozens of worlds from the depths of space who recently arrived to assimilate and subjugate the previous collection of species, the Dorshan Empire. They struck the Dorshan capital suddenly and with overwhelming magical might, prompting a near immediate surrender. Of course, there are always those who rebel against. The undermarket provides magic and technologies who couldn't access it otherwise, but pirates are who everyone wants to see. Renegades hijacking Zalarian broadcasts to show off and claim their criminal accomplishments, towing the line between popularity and disruption, because if no one cares when they're around, no one would notice when they're gone. So that's the world we're going to be playing in. I'm very excited to see what kind of space pirate shenanigans we come out to.
A lot, I imagine.
Shenanigans is going to be one of the words I use quite a bit, I imagine. So as a bit of a note, we are going to be doing a one-shot. We're going to start everybody off at level 1, and we'll be doing a one-shot, kind of a little bit of an origin story, and then the campaign will start with the characters at level 3. So that's going to give us an opportunity to kind of see who these characters are, launch them a little bit further, and kind of get going. So before I move on to some of the house rules, anyone have anything to add to our game information?
Well, you didn't mention the crab people yet, and I feel.
Or the shark wolves.
Or the shark wolves.
Well, now
Very
nothing's
important. You didn't mention the mass chaos that will definitely ensue.
Really, you should just get excited for a lot of the weird stuff we came up with.
A lot of the weird stuff.
As far as rules, though, no, nothing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're gonna jump into my house rules. So, I am the dungeon master here, and so we're kind of gonna operate under my house rules. First rule is really cool, obviously. So if it's cool, I'll allow it. There's nothing else to say about that. If it's world breaking, it's world breaking. If it's cool, it's cool. I'm watching you. No, but for real, because I don't think that it's worth kind of getting into the depths of, actually, yeah, it's not worth it. If it's cool, it's cool. Let's do it. Some other house rules. Again, none of this is like completely necessary, but just some things so that if you're watching, you're like, well, why do they do it that way? It's because they're my house rules. Potions use a bonus action. So,
Nice.
yep, give you some opportunity in combat to not have your whole turn be a potion.
And is that
That
if I
is
give it
nice.
to somebody else, still a bonus action?
I mean, you can use an action to pass.
Okay, there you go. That makes sense.
Spells don't have to use components. They can if you want, but I don't need you to tell me that you have all of the, blood in your bag.
Have that taproot
Rudy, I've
all around
collected-
the world.
I have collected so much blood.
So much blood.
I just want
And you
to be
need to
proud
know.
of me.
I'm making it everybody's problem.
So as far as spells go, they just happen if they happen. If you have to roll for it, you can roll for it. If you want to tell me that you have the root of the tree of the man who killed your father, then sure. I don't know what spells these are. I don't.
Collected so many robotic right arms.
I just ripped all the right arms off.
Only the right one.
Only the right ones. Another house rule is we're not spending time counting money. This is not Economy, the D&D show. You're gonna have money. You're gonna use money. If we don't need to go, well, I have this money, and then how much do you have? And then are we sharing it? Nope. There may be some things that happen behind the scenes as far as like shopping or, accounting, I guess. But that is something that we'll do and we'll update if that happens. Before we take a long rest, y'all must role play. Can't just say it happens. Have to do a little bit of role play before you can get into a long rest.
We gotta talk with each other.
You gotta talk with each other. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. However,
Probably not.
However, I don't want to get right out of combat and everybody be like, all right, we're going to bed.
I am going to roleplay sleeping so good. You won't even be able to tell that I'm awake.
Okay, good. Excellent.
We're gonna chase after all the cats.
Oh, yeah, back to that. My house rule for this game, flavor it sci-fi. So you can take that however you want, but let's turn it into a sci-fi world. And then my last house rule is if it's wrong, it's right. So we don't need to spend 5 minutes explaining to each other how sleep spell works.
Actually.
So you're saying no rules lawyering?
No rules lawyering out loud. We can talk to each other privately, and as we do, and the thing I do want to say is we all have ways to communicate with each other during show and off camera, so don't worry about it. We've got it. We're handled. We're good to go. Okay, so those are the most of the house rules. The other house rule is, so kind of a little deviation. I do give out inspiration. I have these tokens. Don't look too closely. They don't really look good from that distance, but
They look great from here.
yeah,
they
they're
look
super
fantastic.
fun. So they're little tokens. I've got 6 of them, so I've got some opportunities for double inspiration.
Ooh.
But I wanted to make it kind of a little uneven. And if we need more, we need more. I'm gonna give them out. You can give them to other players. So if you're like, oh, let me help you, let me give you a token, go right ahead. It gives you a reroll, not an advantage. So if you completely whiff your roll and you want to do it again, you spend a point of inspiration. Go for it. And you can spend an inspiration point to have a mundane item, like, oh, I remember I have this. Spend a point of inspiration, have it, or to know a particularly useful NPC contact. Now, everybody's gonna have NPC contacts in their background for sure, but if you're like, I know a guy, spend a point of inspiration, we got it, we're good. So those are kind of the house rules that we're working with here. And then I want to talk a little bit about expectations at the table. So I have talked with the cast here about my table expectations, and you talked about my house rules. Everybody here is going to respect each other's choices. We've spent a lot of time working together to have that within our group here. So I'm not particularly worried about that, and that is something that we are doing. Chat is also part of my table. So this is a live stream D&D show to Twitch. We have a live chat option that we are going to be implementing. I want everybody to engage and have a good time. You are part of this experience. However, that means you are part of this experience. No backseat DMing, no commentary on the players. We do have ways to communicate with each other. You don't have to tell us what we are not doing correct. And there are some rules that you need to make sure that you are following in the Twitch chat. The moderators will make sure that you are doing so respect your moderators as well. But particularly, I just want to say that you are part of this table. This involves the audience, this involves the players, this involves the DM. We are all in this together. So respect each other, respect the people doing this performance for you, and have a good time. Hang out with us. Come play D&D. But also don't. I don't need everybody playing D&D.
If you're here and not having a good time,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Do something else.
Do something else. There's so many other things.
You don't have to stay. It's okay.
I mean, we appreciate your viewership,
Yeah.
though, so don't tell anybody that I told you.
Please stay. Please stay.
So, like, if you're cool with being a bully, then
Oh, yeah.
I am going to say, that I think that's a good point, though. You don't have to stay. If something makes you uncomfortable, or if you're not enjoying yourself, you don't have to stay. The VODs are there for a reason, so you can go watch at a later point that you can skip around. You don't have to be live with us. And it's important to me that the consent of the table extends to the audience. So at any point, you can leave if you're uncomfortable. Now, the goal here is to not have anybody be uncomfortable, but I can't predict what will make somebody uncomfortable. I have talked to the players about their yeses and their nos as far as like content goes, but somebody's yes may be an audience member's no. So you are able and welcome to leave at any point. Open door policy, essentially. And that actually brings me into the safety tools. So we are going to be using safety tools at this table. Not only are we trying to make a fun and enjoyable D&D show for you to watch, but it needs to be fun and enjoyable for everybody to play as well. So I've talked a little bit about consent. Everybody here has filled out a checklist and has told me and Colorado what they do and do not want to see in the game or are willing to interact with. So we have that all set. That is gonna stay between all of us. But I know, and I will make sure that I do my best to not cross those lines. However, I can't predict everything. So we have physical X cards here. So if something makes someone uncomfortable, they're gonna flash an X card at me. They might have to say X because I can't see everything.
What about O?
But O is when it's great. It's good.
Oh,
I want to
yay!
see more. I want to see more of this. I want to continue this scene. I really like what's happening. Because this isn't about just all negativity. Not that X card is negative, but sometimes it feels that way. But the O card is specifically to say, let's keep doing this. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's keep doing this. Because that's also part of the table, is making sure that we're all having a good time and we're telling each other we're having a good time. Now these safety tools I have pulled from the TTRPG Safety Toolkit. Very excellent resource that is free and available to everyone. It is a resource co-curated by Kiana Shaw and Lauren Bryant Monk. The TTRPG Safety Toolkit, oh my god, is a compilation of safety tools that have been designed by members of the tabletop role-playing games community for use by players and GMs at the table. You can find it at bit.ly/TTRPG Safety Toolkit. I highly recommend you follow them on Twitter at TTRPG Safety Kit. The X card was designed by John Stavropoulos, and the O card was designed by Kira Magrin. Very important to me that the credit for that goes to them. I did not come up with this. We are just using a tool that already exists. The digital consent checklist was created by Lauren Bryant Monk, adapted from the RPG consent checklist by Sean K. Reynolds and Shanna Germain, published by Monte Cook Games. Another thing we should talk about real quick is during the course of the game, you may hear some music. We are trying out some stuff, especially right at the beginning. Music, sound effects, just kind of bits and bobs. I will be using Sirenscape to provide that effect to us. And I'm very excited to get into that, to see what happens. But I want to make sure that is also properly credited. They are a great application, highly recommend. We're using the sci-fi version of their Sirenscape options. So very excited about that as well. Okay, so that is kind of the game. That's the table, that's the rules, and all the credits for that. So,
any questions?
Anything? Yeah, anyone? Any questions from the audience?
Raise your hands, please.
How are we doing? Good?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump right into it. So, introductions around the table. I'm going to start. Hello, I'm your dungeon master, I'm your guide, I'm your travel companion on this fun little journey. We're going to be going through this together. My name is Brittany Lee. My pronouns are she, her, and you can find me on social media at Brittany Lee Film everywhere. However, if you're having trouble finding what you're looking for, you can go to linktr.ee/Brittany Lee Film. Got everything you need there. That's all of my socials. I do a lot of things. I'm a full-time artist, part-time barista, and I like making stories. Love collaborative storytelling. I've recently been making a bunch of comedy videos, so you can find all of that on my YouTube channel. I'm not quite sure when this video will come out, or I would plug what I've done recently. It's probably pasta related. That's probably the correct answer.
Don't ask.
Maybe ask a little bit.
We want you to be curious.
Yeah, curious a little bit. Currently, I have an Emerging Artists Fellowship from Erie Arts and Culture. I am the co-host of a podcast called Cult Classics, where we make a bad horse movie every episode. Probably one of my better podcasts I've done. I've done podcasting for a while. I'm a director. I'm a storyteller. I'm a visual artist. I'm a podcaster. I like doing all kinds of collaborative storytelling mediums. D&D is actually relatively new to me. I picked it up in 2017 playing on a podcast called No Dice, which, if you would believe it, actually the first time I ever played D&D. So decided to go from no D&D to D&D on a podcast. Real trial by fire there.
0 to 100.
0 to 100 real quick. Did learn a lot, and very much a fan of No Dice. So if I know I'm on it, but I like just listening to everybody else have fun on that podcast. So big recommends on that one. I am very excited to play everyone. So I have in this list of introductions is introduce your PC. I'm not playing a PC. I'm playing everyone. I will say I've got a limited vocal range. So a lot of the NPCs are gonna sound alike. So you'll have to kind of guess a little bit, I think.
Valid.
But
how are we gonna be able to tell if they're Solarian?
You'll ask. I'll describe them.
Does he have a New York accent?
No, the New York accent is not happening. But I've been trying to play around a couple voices. We'll see. But the problem is that my accents go from one to the other in the span of a sentence. So we'll pretend that they're one accent. All right, and to keep things spicy, which is what I'm very excited. Why is it spicy? I'm gonna roll for who goes next.
Oh, no.
So I have numbered the seats 1, 2, 3, 4. Use my dice here. We're starting on a 1. So. Hey, Robin.
Okay. My name is Robin Rastatter. My pronouns are she, her. I have been playing D&D for the last 3 to 4 years straight. It's kind of hard to tell because my days mush together. But I've been playing consecutively twice a week for that long. It's been great. I just heard about it because my friends had told me of it, and I love it. I do some in-person acting, and I do full-time art, including commissions. I have a Facebook page that is called The Wonderful World of Artistry. The @ is Conceptual Roba. What? Oh.
Anything else about you, and then tell us about your character. So.
I'm not the most interesting person. Got a great cat. You'd love him. But my character is, their name is Pearl. Technically speaking, they, them pronouns because they are a warforged. But it's just kind of whatever you would like to call them. They don't really care. Pearl is a wizard. A wizard blade singer, nonetheless. Their background's a little dodgy because if you were to ask them about it, they don't remember too much. You can tell by looking at them that there's been some damage on what was once a really expensive high-tech nanny droid. So, all you know for certain about Pearl is that they were a nanny droid for a presumably wealthy family at one point, and now they're not. And you don't know why.
Leave it mysterious.
All right. So Warforged, what's the class again?
It's a wizard blade singer.
Okay, got it. Very excited. Are you using any homebrew on?
No, lead singer is from Tasha's,
Okay.
so nothing like wild.
Not wild. Good. Phew. All right. Let's see who's. No, a different number, huh?
Oh, me again? Oh.
Apparently, we're going in order. So this is number 2. So
just go around the table.
I want to make it spicy. It's not very spicy. It's like, maybe some salt and black pepper. All right, Rob, what you got?
My name is Rob Bush. I am found on social media, Nave Roop, on Twitter at Nave Roop, Knave RUP, where I basically am the stereotypical cranky old leftist.
Love that.
Yeah,
that's a good introduction.
That's me. Let's see. Started playing Dungeons and Dragons in 1980, which I think is about 3 years before season 1 of Stranger Things is set. So those young kids were not even around when I was playing. In case you haven't guessed, I am old.
Oof. Good,
What?
good.
Nah.
You?
Yes, I know. Let's see. There's not a lot to say about me. I did theater for years and years and years before I kind of retired from it. I did a local medieval dinner theater type of thing where you feed people chickens and sing and dance and call people my lord and my lady and that sort of stuff. Did years of doing interactive murder mysteries. I was part of a comedy troupe. We did a college tour back before most everybody who's sitting around here was born. so I got a lot of performance experience. Yeah. Let's see. What else? That's pretty much me. I'm looking to retire from my job and then just do stuff like this. So that's where I'm at. My character. Can we go to my character?
Yes,
Is there more of the fascinating Rob story that you guys need to hear?
I need all of it.
You just
Rob.
said you weren't interesting and then listed like a dozen things about yourself.
I'm curious what you
I
find
used to be interesting. I was interesting in the past. Now I'm boring as boring can be. So my character is going to be a reskin of the Changeling race, and the character is named Hieronymus Bibble, aka. Wait a minute, I get my list of other names here.
All your
My
aliases.
aliases, yes. I've lost it because I'm dumb. But anyways, so the character, the background is charlatan. My character was a con artist prior to the start of the campaign, going around and cheating people out of their money. But always people who were deserving of being ripped off. Very discriminating, morally sound con artist, as they are.
As con artists usually
Con
are.
artists tend to be.
That's what I think.
Yes.
Con artist.
And of course, as is the case so often with these sort of tragic characters, Hieronymus at some point targeted someone who they found out afterwards did not deserve to be taken down a peg, and ruined that person's life. And now Hieronymus is attempting to atone for that grievous action by apparently becoming a pirate.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I thought this all out very well.
Maybe it's a means to an end.
The point is that my character can change shapes and turn into different people, which allows me to talk in a bunch of different funny voices, which is the only reason I do role-playing games, is to be able to talk silly all the time. So that's kind of where I am. My character is going to be a multi-class rogue with a level of bard, just so they can hurt people by insulting them. Really nothing else, no musical instruments, just,
Slam poetry.
yeah. You suck! Take damage. I envision them as being the face of the party when we get into these kind of situations that require somebody to be a face or many faces. So I think that's it.
Okay, excellent. And no homebrew for yours either. Just
No,
multi-class.
it's pretty straightforward stuff.
Okay. All right. Let's see if this gives me anything different.
Come on, 3.
No, that is a 4, so that's the only difference.
I just feel like I got skipped. That's all that
No,
changed.
I think, yeah, I know, unfortunately. But that means best for last. All right.
Take it.
Well, okay, pretty.
All right. Okay. Well,
Best is first, and best is second, and best for last, and best for third.
Okay, well, now you took away from the compliment.
All right. Introduce yourself. What you got?
okay. Okay. So my name, I go by Liz Dryzen. I am she, them. If you want to find me anywhere, and this is Discord, many video games, I think Twitter. No, Twitter, Instagram, even on Twitch, I'm going to be at the Steam Turtle, and that is exactly it. It is spelled exactly the way you would. The word the, and then the word Steam, and then the word turtle. By day, I do, well, I guess by midday to evening, I do tech support, and then by night, I do audio post-production, really sound effects mostly, and I also build computers, and I also play video games. I guess if you want any interesting things about me, I've been told this is interesting. I play 7 instruments and I can read 4 different languages.
What are the
So-
instruments on the list?
Oh gosh, you're gonna make
French horn. That's 2 for 1.
There you go.
saxophone, xylophone, clarinet, oboe, hand harp, piano, and then penny whistle.
Can I ask why?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because I enjoy making noise.
And that's why we're all here.
All right, and the
What about the
languages?
The languages, I am counting English because if I don't count it, people will be like, you can't read it. But also Latin, German, and Japanese. So
Yeah, the easy ones.
yeah, the
Yeah,
easy ones.
it's an interesting mix.
Yeah.
And that's it for me, I guess. But on to my character. My character, his name is Cyrus. He goes by he, him. He is a reskin of an Asimar, which is what I've been told how to pronounce it.
It's awesome.
Asimar, okay. Asimar.
ASMR.
ASMR?
Asimar is how I've always pronounced it,
No.
but yeah, I've been known to mispronounce a lot of things.
That's what happens when you read the language you don't speak.
This is very true.
Yeah.
And that's not like a critique in any way.
No, that's
just
actually
like-
just true.
Yeah.
No, it's just very
Yeah.
true. But it's a reskin into Sposimer. And on his planet at one time there was also a subrace called Spamsimer. I need to include this. This was important when building his character. No, but he is old. I don't want to say he's old because he's not old, but he's older. He's been around the block a few times. He is a deserter. He was in the Zalarian military. He was decently high in the ranks and he got out. He doesn't tell people how he got out. He just says he got out. And he enjoys helping the what he's been told are low lives, but he does a little bit of everything. He goes around, he'll help you lift stuff. If you need to smuggle something, he can help you do that. But when he's not doing that, he just hangs around in bars and he acts as a de facto bouncer.
All right. And no homebrew.
There are no
Okay.
homebrew credits.
All right.
Other than the spam smart?
Spam similar.
I was saying.
I want to know what the heck that is.
I was saying I was picturing Miss Piggy from Muppet Treasure Island.
Yep.
I mean, I could just tell me later. It's fine. Everybody else will have to figure out on your own.
Yeah, spam summer can be whatever you want it to be in your heart.
Yep.
There's a lot of weird things that could be.
All right.
Well, I
Last
guess
but not
it's just me because the dice said so.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
Save
they
the
weren't
best for
spicy enough.
I guess not. Hi, everybody. My name is Ian Headley. I go by he, him. I have a bunch of social medias that are all oh my god sheep, just all one word, exactly how you think it's spelled. Although my Twitter handle is oh my god sheep 1 because apparently somebody took it. It might have been me and I just forgot. I don't remember which. I don't use them that often, but I still want to put them out there in
This
case,
is going
you know.
great.
Yeah, things might go well. Who knows? As far as what I do, usually when people ask me this question, the only thing that comes to mind is D&D. But I did do some acting in high school that really drew me into the acting world, and my whole family was always way into theater and stuff like that. So I ended up learning a lot about it, and I really enjoyed the process of that. So I ended up doing some improv stuff. I did a couple improv classes in college, but I also was part of like a really small improv troupe for a little bit. And I would just really love the role play of all of that. And so eventually when I got to college, I started getting into D&D, and I just kind of didn't stop. So it's been about 5 years now. I started running a game probably 4 years ago. That's just been one ongoing game the entire time. It's consumes my life, but it is what it is. As far as everything else about me, I don't know. I'm pretty boring other than that.
Doubt.
But that's my main hobbies. As far as my PC goes, I am playing a Simic Hybrid Artificer. I'm still working on the subclass because I don't have to worry about that till level 3, so we'll get there at some point. And I'm going to be... their background is going to be heavily mysterious. They seem to know a lot about magic, unlike many other people that aren't allowed to have magic. And I know a lot about technology, but he's definitely a weird mutant monstrosity looking thing, and nobody knows how he ended up where he did. And that's all you need to know.
Mysterious. And you're not doing any homebrew with me.
No, any homebrew that will be added will be my homebrew that I will personally make. Or
Okay.
Brittany will make. I'm not excluding you from this. You're the DM. It's
I
kind
would
of
say
important.
probably Colorado will be doing most of the
Okay,
homebrewing.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Credits to Colorado.
Yeah. Anything that is not credited as a homebrew but is not a typical rule is from Colorado Brown, because I am not that clever. I do want to play in the space though, so very excited. Just as a little thought, not really relevant to anything, but I am curious. Am I correct in assuming that 3 out of my 4 players have or are currently DMing?
Which one of us is
You
it?
have. Okay.
Yeah, I just recently did it for the first time, and it
Okay.
actually wasn't bad.
All right.
Well
Congratulations.
done.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think we've all done it. Then. I
Okay.
have.
So we've all done it. You're actively.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've
Are
been
you
doing it
actively?
for-
I am currently running a Trail of Cthulhu game on alternating weeks, and a Night's Black Agents game, which is super spies versus vampires, which is pretty cool. That's super fun.
Okay.
Are you're not actively.
Not actively,
Okay.
no, but I
Okay.
have.
All right. So I wanted to put that out there because it goes back to like my previous rule of like, you know, if it's wrong, it's right. But everybody here knows the rules, and so they know how to
We get it.
circumvent it. And it's an opportunity, I think, for me to work with some folks who may not get to play very often. So that's exciting for me as someone who only wants to play. Now I'm DMing. But I'm very excited to DM. I have never DM'd a campaign. I have DM'd a lot of one shots. You can actually hear some of them on No Dice. I have DM'd every Halloween episode of No Dice, which is very exciting. So I'm not unfamiliar with the territory. I am unfamiliar with it being long form. So that's the only thing that I'm really actually very excited about, to build a world together and continue to have a story and not try to squish everything into 2 hours. Like, that is very exciting to me. Although we will have to do that with the one shot. So sorry about that in advance. Okay, so that is everybody here at the table. That is Health Hits Experience. And you've met the crew, the pirate crew. We will have a name for the ship at some point, I assume. So I'm very excited to meet these pirates, play with these pirates in space. So that
Obvious.
in space, maybe on a planet with water, though. Who knows? So I want to jump into the acknowledgments for this show. So this show would not be possible without a lot of help from a lot of people. And we're not even done yet. So I will say, first and foremost, thank you to the early access viewers who have been watching and making sure that what we are doing looks good, sounds good, works well. The point of all of this is to have people watching and to already have, I think our test stream had like 15 viewers, like right out the gate. And that's just people we knew. It wasn't just someone who happened across it. Really made me very excited for what the future of this project is. And then more importantly, specifically because it was requested of me. I really want to thank Community Access Media. We are currently filming this and then live streaming this show from Community Access Media's HD studio using all of the equipment in the studio. The only things that I have brought in from outside is the set design, the lights, the cameras, the microphones, all of that is from Cam. And you can follow Cam at CamErie PA, CamEriePA, on every social media. And then if you want to check out camerie.org. And then if you want to watch this show not on Twitch or not on YouTube for whatever reason your heart desires, you can find Cam on Roku and Apple TV. So you can download the Cam Erie app and you can find video on demand and watch the show there. So a lot of exciting options for that. And if you are local to the organization, stop on by, see what Cam has to offer. Maybe it might be something for you. We're very fortunate to be able to be working with and in Cam, because this show would not exist without Community Access Media. I wouldn't have a space for it. I genuinely would not have a space for it. I have the people, I have the set design, I have everything else. I would not have a space to do this. So I'm very excited. The support has been incredible, and I don't know what else to say other than like thanks to Cam, just because this is a product of working within the space and working within this facility and using the resources available to any member. I am not doing anything that any other member could not do. So that's what's exciting to me, is anybody can do this.
And just in general, for those who aren't local, you may very well have community access in your own community, and it's a resource that you can look into if you want to do stuff in front of cameras with cool equipment.
Yes, public access is available in so many places. We are at CAM, which is a public access media center. Not all public access centers are media centers, and CAM has kind of advanced their technology in the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years. So there might be some differences, but also there's probably something local to you. And that's how you can support your local community, and you get access to all of these things. And I'm a big advocate for public access. Like, just, it's so great. It's so cool. And then I want to get into some of the other acknowledgements here. So our crew, first of all, thank you. Thank you to our crew, because this would not happen without them. I can only wear so many hats. So thank you to Brandon Montgomery, who is our technical director. He's in the control room. He is making this show go live and making it sound good and making the switches between the cameras. Today specifically, Molly Cook is also in the control room and making the switches and making it look good. Molly is our operations manager, keeping us all in line. And the show also would not exist without Molly. So thank you to Molly. Our production designer is Kaylee McSwain. This is some part of, and not all of, the production design. It's going to look bigger and better when we go live on July 11th. I'm very excited. So this is just a small sampling of that. So could not be more grateful for our production designer. Thank you to Lindsay Kortowski, our social media manager on this production. We are about, I would say, 3 or 4 days from the start of our social media campaign. And I'm very, very grateful for Lindsay for making this all possible. Everything that you're about to see, I say about to, this video will probably come out after all of this has happened, but anything on social media is thanks to Lindsay making that happen, making us look good, and getting the word out there. Thank you to Michael Smith, who is our web content manager. That currently is our website and our wiki, which is in the process of being made. So I don't want to necessarily throw anything up on screen at the moment because I don't know the progress of the wiki, but we will have a wiki as well, which is going to be very fun to reference a lot of things. Thank you to our Twitch moderators, Gabby Knappenberger and Taylor Lodi. I probably have said Gabby's name poorly. I'm very sorry. They are the ones that are going to be on Twitch and in the Discord moderating. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please go to our Twitch moderators. And also many, many thanks. Without our moderators, I would not feel comfortable having a safe and happy show to be able to do this, because like I said, the Twitch chat, the Twitch community, you guys are at my table and you are a part of this. So I'm very excited to have moderators who have been with this show for a little bit of time. They know what's going on, and they're awesome, of course. Also, thanks to Jesse Martin, who is our background asset designer. I'm very excited to see some of Jesse's work here real soon. Maybe we'll flash them up on screen right now. This is going up in an edit, so it's not necessarily live, but it's gonna look great. And many thanks to Jesse for that as well. I want to shout out some special thanks. So special thanks to Nina Cruz, who has been involved with this project for quite some time, and unfortunately is not able to continue being a part of this project, but I am incredibly grateful for the time that Nina spent with us. Really made all of this possible. Nina had an opportunity to be at the table a couple times, so that was awesome and really got us where we need to go. So thank you to Nina. Thank you to Jarrett Kelly, who was also part of the show at the beginning, and is no longer at the table, but maybe joining us later on. So Jarrett has been an instrumental part of making this show possible. Thank you to Radius Cowork, who without which I really don't know how we would have gotten some things done we did. So many, many thanks to Radius Cowork. Thank you to some early test players. So I am new to a lot of things that we are doing, and I really wanted to see kind of how to get my feet wet, how to get my feet under me. And so I ran a test game with these players that just really was instrumental in getting this off the ground. So thank you to Mike Lee, Daniel Brower, AJ Mangold, and Colorado Brown. Special thanks to Ember and Forge as well. Thank you to Casey Corritori, who was my right-hand man for a short period of time, and it was very, very helpful. So thank you, Casey. Thank you to Faustian Nonsense, who helped so much behind the scenes, and they run a podcast network, so highly recommend you check out their work as well. And thank you to Reagan von Richter, who got us into some silly places as far as improv and acting, and genuinely very grateful to have that time with Reagan. I've already talked about Cam, but once again, thank you to Community Access Media. I am so excited to be making this show here, locally and in the studio. Cannot wait to see where this takes us. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the show before we end off here. We are Health Hits Experience. I typically have been abbreviating it to HHXP, or HHE if I'm feeling really lazy. But I like HXXP because I think it communicates more. But Health Hits Experience, all things you can get points in. We can be found at linktr.ee/healthhitsxp. That has everything you could ever need on there. But we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we're on TikTok. I don't know how active we are going to be on all of those shows. A lot of that's going to be on Lindsay. So again, special thanks. And you can find us on our website, healthhitsexperience.com. We have a Discord server. So if you are part of the early access, you already know this. If you haven't checked it out already and you're watching this, come join our Discord server. It's a community server that everyone can come in, chat, hang out. We have a ton of channels that you can do spoilers in. If you don't want to hang out in the Twitch chat, but you still want to be involved in the live stream, we've got a live chat channel, all kinds of things, and totally open to making new channels, building the community on the Discord. So that is going to be the place when we get kind of rocking and rolling. We are streaming live on Monday nights at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, starting July 11th on Twitch, twitch.tv/healthhitsxp. Come join us. If you can't join us live, understandable. It's a Monday night at 5. Get it. I get it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird time.
It's a bit of a weird time. Maybe we'll reach the people in England. That would be fun. You know, time zones could help us out there. Anyways, we will be putting VODs live up. I say live. They're going to go up on YouTube. They're going to go live on YouTube 2 weeks after the original air date. So you will be able to access those. I believe they'll stay on Twitch for a little bit after as well. I don't know how long Twitch keeps them up, but you should be able to access them after the show is finished airing. Most likely, there will be very little edits made to the VODs. The point is to just get the experience everybody else gets. I'll probably end up cutting out the breaks. You probably don't need to watch a 10-minute just looping video on YouTube. Probably not necessary. And then I also mentioned the wiki before, but we're gonna have a wiki. I'm very excited to see kind of what comes from that. I've already had a sneak peek at it. I think the favorite wiki entry so far has been Werewolf Catapult. It's a very good entry.
That is a good entry.
It's a good entry. I feel like I've covered everything so far. This is who we are. This is what we're doing when we're going live. I just want to say there's been a lot of work that has gone into this, not only on my end, but literally everybody here, literally everybody I just listed out for you has spent a lot of time. We started this over a year ago of putting it together and making sure the pieces fit right and making sure we had the access and making sure we had the people who were passionate about it. And I like to think I've been pretty successful about doing that. So, and you know, not to oversell it, but this is a project I have been producing for over a year. So I've put as much work into finding the people for this project as I have getting ready to be the guide for this story. And I'm very proud of it. I'm so excited to see what we're gonna do. I think the minute we sat down in the brainstorming session and all came to the conclusion of Space Pirates, I was like, this is gonna be, oh, mamma mia. It's gonna be very good. So just, you know, hang out, check it out, see what's going on. And if you like what you see, if you like our show when it goes live, share it with your friends. Word of mouth is gonna be the best way that we can grow and gain an audience, because we're not really putting any major money into this. There's been some funds that have come from me, which is fine. That's the whole point of producing a project, is to put money into it. But this has been resources available to us, and contributions by people who have been willing to put the time and the effort and some of their own finances into this. So we're not making any money and we're not spending any money. And so our marketing is grassroots on the ground. Let's get going. So share it if you like it. And if you don't like it, like I said, I want to make sure that it's clear of like, there is no harm in leaving something you don't like. My goal here is to not build an audience of people who are regretful of joining the Discord. Like, I want you to be here and I want you to want to be here. So make sure that you're having a good time. And if you need to skip an episode, skip an episode. If you want to just check in and say hi and then leave, do that as well. But we are here to create a story for you. Our goal here is not to have a home game that you kind of happen to get to see. We're playing this to have an experience and to have you have an experience. So some of the choices that are going to be made are going to be a little bonkers, and that's on purpose. We're here to have a good time. We're here to make sure you have a good time. And I'm so excited for those bonker choices to get real serious for some reason. I think that's going to be great. I think it's going to happen for sure.
Fantastic.
I think that's it. Does anyone have anything else that they would like to cover for this? We are going to be spending some time in another recording going over some more character details. So we're going to have a whole character session. I'm very excited about that. And then we will have a one-shot where we talk about the origin of the crew. Then we're going to be live. Very excited. But anything else we want to talk about before we say that this is the video?
I would like to give it a special thanks
Yes.
to Brittany, because of how much work she's put into this. It's been so much, and she looks so stressed, and I don't know how she does it. So I think it's important that you get a lot of recognition for
All
this.
while doing like what 10 other projects.
Yeah,
projects,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
At the same
Like,
time.
this is not the only active project she has. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah.
So special thanks to you, our wonderful dungeon master
Thank you.
and project creator.
I'm very fortunate that one of my day jobs is at a coffee shop. I get a lot of free coffee. That powers me through a lot.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Yeah, unfortunately, this is not the only project I'm working on, but it is the coolest, I think, and the longest. I was saying this to somebody else. I think this is the longest project I've done ever. my thesis project took less time than this. so I'm ready. I'm ready for everyone to meet these characters. I'm ready to meet these characters, meet this world, play in this world, go on a space adventure. I'm very inspired by things like Treasure Planet, Star Wars, typical stuff, and maybe some Star Trek, no fighting, no infighting. But we're gonna have a magical space adventure, even though magic is banned. But that's okay. It's still
We're
pirates.
They're
We
pirates.
don't care what's banned.
And that's the exciting part. We get to play in the dark spaces. So I'm very excited. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this before the show launches, thank you for checking it out and for hopefully tuning in. If you're watching this after the show launches, thanks for checking us out, seeing who we are, seeing what we're about. This is just a little intro video. We've got some other cool videos about our world building and about our characters and our one-shot, so I'm excited for you to check those out as well. Lots of other options for you to see. And I don't know, I'm just excited. I'm just excited. Spent a lot of time on this project and everybody is just put the work in. And just there's so many cool things I think about this group of people. Not to call anybody out specifically, but the fact that all of our art comes from in-house, like an incredible set of
Who's
circles.
always looking down.
Yeah. If you see Robin on the iPad, probably drawing something.
This glove, not pink.
related to what we're doing. So it's very exciting. And I just, again, thank you to everybody involved. Thank you to those who are watching. And, if we get to the end of this and you've had a good time and we've all had a good time, then I think the show's been successful no matter what. No matter if we have 5 viewers, 5,000 viewers, it's been successful if we all had a good time. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I hope that you will all join us. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.